Good evening, everyone. Peter McConarty, Deputy Director of Public Works. I do believe this is my fifth year coming back to the meetings. I really appreciate you inviting me. I enjoy coming here. I don't get out of the office as much as I would like to, or as much as I used to, so I don't see all the conditions of the roadways. A lot of times I rely on the superintendents of the different divisions, so I do appreciate coming here. Because when I walk in, all of you tell me, you know, the roads are Falmouth, the good roads and the bad roads. And I heard a few of them tonight. But there's some exciting things going on in Falmouth. Two of the biggest things that we're working on town-wide is there's been two projects. One is the Main Street Transportation Plan and project. That started several years ago. We had a traffic consultant come in and do a traffic study. I'm sure most of you know about that. It's been well advertised. That's leading into a design, and it's leading into some public hearings that are going to be coming up. And RSA was, two RSAs were done over the past couple of months. What an RSA is, it's a road safety audit. And road safety audits are required by Mass DOT on roadways, whether it's a state roadway or a town roadway, if you're going for state funds or federal funds. So we've had that for Main Street. The project from Main Street goes from basically the Coffee O here with the Queens Byway and goes out to Oxbow, all the way out through Main Street, through Davis Straits, through T-Ticket, Route 28 out to Oxbow Road. There's going to be a brand new 16-inch water main put in, that's the driver. The water main under the roadway is an 1899 water main. It was the first water main put in Falmouth after the plant was built in 1898. So you'll probably see some pretty good bursts down by the Gus Candy Center and down by Friendly's intersection. That's where it starts. But that's coming up. We've already gone through the meetings on that, and we're working with a traffic engineering company. They're looking at doing a public information session, public comment session that we usually do. And that's going to be coming up the mid of June, so you want to be watching out for that. I'm sure we'll have some public advertisement for that. It'll be in one of the public rooms. The second project that we're working on is Route 151, and we're looking at Route 151 is a little bit different. We called it a corridor study, but basically it was the intersections up there that drove basically the whole study. We're looking at the Courier Road intersection that's down by the fairgrounds. We're looking at the Sandwich Road intersection. Anyone that's driven through that with traffic knows the rights and the lefts and the turn lanes trying to get through that intersection can be very difficult. And the other intersection is the Boxbury Hill, Cloverfield, and Sam Turner. And I believe if you talk to any of the police, any of the safety officials, the police, the fire, Public Works included, we all are under the conclusion that that is the worst intersection in town, basically trying to pull out and pull in on 151. So you will be seeing some another public outreach meeting for that also, and that will be coming up. For roadways and for DPW, what we're working on is ADA accessibility. We've done a lot of that work over the past year. We've done a lot of work on Jones Road. We've done a lot of work down by the Walmart. We're working closely with the Commission on Disabilities to work on getting access along the roadways. And you don't really, when you drive the roadway, when you're driving or you walk on the roadways, you're not really seeing, unless you're really looking for the intersections, the crosswalks, the ADA ramps, and the conformity of the ADA ramp. So we've been working very close with Kathleen Haynes of the Commission on Disabilities. Basically right now we've probably repaired in the last couple of months 10 or 12 different ADA cross sections going from Walmart up to the hospital and several more on Kathleen Lee Bates. So that's an ongoing process. We're working on that. It also conforms with the transition plan that we're working with the ADA. For the bikeway, the Parks Department, they've been out, they've been doing clearing. They did a lot of clearing over the winter months. We got really hit hard in March with the 3 storms that came up. And they had to divert to elsewhere, but they have been on the bike path. They've been cleaning it up. They walked on it with the backpack blowers, trying to clean up as much as they can. There's more work to do, but we're trying to keep that open. Paving wise, recently we paved from Depot Ave up to the Tehune intersection. We've been working closely with Pat and Scott with the Bikeways Committee to look at these areas in town that are bad. When I walk it, I can feel it when I'm walking it, so riding a bike, I can just imagine what it feels like driving over these bumps on a bike. So we're trying to take care of these sections at a time. The town has been allocating funds through town meeting each year, and this is the second year in the row. I think last year they got 60,000, this year they got 50,000, and hopefully this is going to continue. It's going to be an ongoing thing. So we've been working with the Bikeways Committee, looking at the areas that we need to get done with that. One of the other areas that just came up in the last couple of weeks that actually Patty had brought up is down in the Trunk River area and down the Locust Street area. It's not the tree roots that are sticking up through the ground. What it is it's the cold joints when they paved the bike path with an asphalt truck started and stopped. That's what you're seeing when the truck stopped and you got the cold asphalt and the new asphalt hit it. You got that joint together. They range from 1 to 3 inches wide. So what we're looking at doing is we're going to go down there actually tomorrow, and we're going to be blowing out all those cracks, and we're going to be filling it with emulsion and stone dust. And what that'll do, it's a temporary measure, but it's in the past what we've done is we've had a crack sealing company go down there and use that. Crack sealing is not really used for that. Crack sealing is used for smaller, 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch. You start getting up over an inch, it doesn't hold. You gotta pull it out. So we're going to be doing an asphalt emulsion and some stone dust, and then we are going to follow up with crack sealing company over the summer. We'll go down there and finish that up. We have been in contact, and we're still in hope, and we're looking for with the state with those funds for the environmental bond bill to do the paving from Locust Street down to the Steamship Authority. We've been waiting on that, and we've been working with the steamship. The design is done. It's been ready to go. Usually when you do projects like that, the state likes to see partnership with the towns, and we know that. We've done a lot of work that way through the state. And our commitment was to take the project, get the funds available through the town meeting and through the CPC funds. And we've done that, and I think we're in kind of a holding pattern on a waiting list for a couple of years now.
Oh.
Probably a year and a half, couple of years now. Yeah. So
it's shovel ready.
Shovel ready. Yeah, so that's been done for a good year, over a year. Other areas that we're working in town is we're looking at the markings. One of the areas that has been talked about for several years was the Dillingham, going down Gifford Street, going down Catholic Base, getting on the Gifford Street and getting over Dillingham down to the intersection of Route 28. It's wide enough. 2 years ago we put in a bike, basically a widened bike, a lane, a shoulder, on one side of the street, so we're looking at doing the other. And last year we missed the contractor. When they go down the street, they go down the street doing 30 miles an hour, and it's very hard by the time you catch up to them that they're already by those areas. And it's hard, they just keep on going. It's a little bit different than the detail work. But this year we're going to be catching up. We're going to try to get the other lane on that Dillingham Ave. Anyone that's been down towards the Heights, going down towards Worcester Court, we finished up Worcester Court. We had a lot of tree damage down there in the fall, and in the spring we cleaned it all up. It's all hydroseeded. Sidewalks are in, and the stripers are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be looking at putting a widened, actually same thing, another lane on both sides of Worcester Court. It's one way, so we'll be doing one way each side. So you'll have a lane on each side to be able to drive up and down. So we're trying to get these key areas where the with the intermodal, it's not just vehicles we're looking at throughout town. Some of the roads that we're looking at this year are a lot of the private roads that we're doing, some up in the Shumat Valley area, some over in West Falmouth. The main roads, we did a lot of the main roads last year, but this year we're concentrating a lot on some of the side roads that we're going back and forth. But we are working closely with the Bikeways Committee and with the state. We're trying to follow this complete streets as close as we can, and within the budget constraints that we have. Complete streets can be anything. Complete streets, as you probably all know, complete streets can be paint markings, it can be lanes, it can be multiple modals, it could be sidewalks, it can be ADA transitions. But when we do the designs, we try to incorporate all users of the roadway. On Cape Cod, it's hard to do that because You have a lot of ancient roadways, you had 40-foot right-of-ways. It's very hard to do all that within the constraints that you have, but we do the best that we can with that. So those are the big projects that we're working on right now in Falmouth. One of the areas that was brought up to me when I was standing in the back of the room is Palmer Ave.
Yes.
Palmer Ave, the gas company went in there a year ago. We've been working very well with the gas company. They've been working very well with us. And we basically have a deal with them. They used to come in and cut and patch. We don't want that anymore. We don't want you to cut and patch because then we end up seams and the roadway out in the wintertime blows out. So we're basically saying to them, depending on the lane, if you're going to come in and you're going to put a gas main in, you're going to do the whole lane from the edge of the road right out to the middle. And you're going to pave it for as long as you're done, because we don't want to be dealing with that no more. But Palmer Ave, they went in and they put a gas main in, and they came up Palmer Ave. They went up the old Palmer Ave over the two bridges. And several years ago, they did out by Dana's. So one of our projects we were looking at is we were going from the bridge out to Dana's. Working with the gas company, we cut a deal with them saying to make our funds go further, we're gonna hold the funds that we have to pave these lanes, and you're gonna come in and pave your lanes, and we're gonna meet in the middle. You guys take it, your gas company, you take a lane, and we'll take the other lane, and we're looking at getting that whole roadway done. My understanding is that was going to be done recently, and I guess it hasn't been done yet. So I think I know what route I'm going to be taking tonight on the way home, because I want to see what's done out there. Yeah, and it's a busy roadway, so that's something we're going to take a look at. But,
can we take some questions?
absolutely. Those are the biggest projects that we're working on.
Okay.
Easy on me.
No, stay up here.
That
I'll
was
try
a
to
great
recognize
update.
people.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of good news in there.
Yes.
Including one question about Worcester Court. So you are going to put bike lanes in there now? We've had this back and forth.
Yeah, there's been a back and forth, bike lanes, no bike lanes, sharrows, no sharrows. What we're going to do is we're going to put a solid white edge line down the curb side of the road. It's probably 6 inches off the granite curb.
With the sidewalk.
On the park side.
Yeah.
On the house side, we're going to build a 4-foot strip for the completely going down all the way from one end to the other. What happens over there is the police look at that as if the wheels are over the white line, and it's a fence that it can be a traffic violation. But if you drive down there a lot of times during the daytimes, the landscape trucks are down there, the delivery trucks are down there, so we're trying to meet in the middle on that. There will be a white line 4 feet wide going all the way down the road on both sides. So it's basically for the walkers and for the bikers to be in that lane.
So, I'm sorry, there'll be a 4-foot section next to the
On the house side,
Outside.
on the house sides.
Right.
And then there'll be, on the other sides, there'll be a 10-inch fog line, basically, they call it.
And you're not going to paint sharrows?
At this time, we were not going to put the sharrows in there. We were back and forth in the sharrows, and we were yes and no, so this time we're not.
So you're not going to put any bike indication inside that 4-foot? That's not going to be a bike lane?
Not at this time. This is like it's like a meet in the middle kind of thing, working with the abutters down there, working with the people down there, working with the bikeways committee, and it's like a back and forth down there.
Okay.
But I think that's something thought to come. We'll get that stripe going in there, and then it's just more of a push to.
Yeah.
It's a busy area in the summertime. There's a lot of vehicles, no doubt,
I think
going
the
down
bike
those
lane next to
areas.
the sidewalk would have been the best.
On the left side.
Yeah.
Nicole, do you have something to add to that particular discussion right now? This is our speaker.
Well, yes. You actually
Can
can't.
stand up since we don't have any
Right.
microphone?
Sure. Well, I would need more information, but how wide are your travel lanes?
This roadway, it's a one-way road on both sides.
Yeah.
But this one-way road, it must have been before me, but it is wide. So it looked like at some point in time that roadway, to me, appears some decades ago was a 2-lane road on both sides. So what we did is we narrowed it up. We put a 5-foot sidewalk in and then narrow it up, because what's happened is it's too wide and people are going 2 ways on it.
So what we have curb to curb?
So right now, from the edge of the lane out to the sidewalk is about 16, 17 feet. We're gonna come in a foot on the curbside, and we're gonna come in 4 feet on the other side, so that'll bring it down 17, 13, and probably bring it down to like a 12 or 11 to 12 foot lane.
Why not make it 10 to 11, and then you can have a nice bike lane and
Yep,
put it on the
so
non-house
that's an
side.
interesting story that I'm not
We
gonna.
did actually we did that in Boston. It was kind of really cool. On Com Ave, it was the heart of the Back Bay, not a bike-friendly neighborhood at all when we started, but they had this nice, beautiful grass strip, and they were worried about speeding on the road, and we said, look, we can tighten up these lanes down to 10 and a half feet, and we basically created a 5-foot bike lane on the park side. And they kind of loved it because the speeding completely disappeared and cars were a lot more managed.
Right.
And it worked for everyone, and the bikes felt, actually, there were a lot of senior citizens that live in the Back Bay as well, and they absolutely loved it because before they said it's really hard to like swerve around the cyclists, they never know where they're going, and here the cyclists have their spot, there's a line, there's driving, everyone had their place, and it was really beautifully organized. So it was kind of a slam dunk of a project that you could have there.
What we did probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we have a lot of roads in Falmouth. Gifford Street, I understand, it's a wide road because of all the trucks and the truck traffic. But a lot of the other roads, they were 12, 13 feet wide. And we said, well, let's rethink this. So we started looking at not the 10s and 9s and
Right.
10s, but we started looking at the 10 and a half foot lanes. And then you take the paint out, and then everything else, and then that's what we've been trying to, when we do these roads over, we gear towards.
Yeah.
The 10 and a half foot lanes, there's plenty of room for the vehicles, and then the rest of the roads left over for, and
Right.
that's what we've been gearing up for the past several years. The Worcester
Yeah.
Court's a little bit different, and I know Scott's had multiple meetings with us, with the director, and with Town Hall about it. But yeah, so I think that wants to be a conversation that I think continues with the bikeways to do that. We'll just keep on continuing. I would say keep on continuing with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question back here. Peter, Jay, you want
Yeah.
to stand up for the same reason?
Peter, every winter with sand on the road from the winters when we get into May,
Yeah.
a couple places in town, Surf Drive and Manon, get dangerous because you've got sand coming off the beach, you've got winter sand, you've got sand on the other side of Surf Drive, say coming in from the parking areas.
Yep.
And there are plenty of places down there where there's no room for a bike. You gotta be out where the car is.
Okay.
I just wonder, this happens every spring. If there couldn't be a routine that May 15th, we send the brooms down there.
Actually, we don't put any sand down the roadways in the winter no more. We're using, it's like a salt brine mix for the road. I think with the winter, with the Surf Drive and the knot, it's the wind that's driving the sand up onto the beach. And then you got the rows of and the plants and everything else that push everything up further. But I'll bring that back to the highway department tomorrow to see if we can get it. I know they go out there and they sweep that. I do not know the schedule down there, what they do on the beaches.
One quick
That's a good
question, then
question.
we'll have to get it on to Nicole.
Well, this might be better for the bikeways committee, but a lot of the things when they originally made the extension, they put stanchions in to keep cars from biking, by mistake going down the bike path, and more things written on the sidewalk like stop ahead.
Yep.
And those stanchions they've been gone for a couple of years. Is that because we don't think they're really necessary, or is it just nobody's really had that as their number one job?
Honestly, we've been looking at them as much as we could, but when it gets dark or early in the morning, people have been hitting them, and it's been dangerous. So we had the new design on the phase 3 with the rumble strips and the slope granite curbing. Kind of somewhat working on. I don't like the stone inserts. We might do like a scored, but the design from Locust Street down to Steamship has those islands, has those separation islands, but it's more of a scored concrete on top of it instead of the stones pop out.
That's right.
And on Surf Drive, actually last year on Surf Drive, we did go down there and do a lot more painting of bike way ahead, yield, and tried to make more reflective signage down there. But we've been taking some of those bollards, we've been taking that they've been dangerous, people have been hitting them. We've been trying to wrap them with reflective tape.
So that's a conscientious decision not to replace them. Like I was thinking wood rise.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you could, I'll tell you what, if you can email us the areas that you're talking about, because I want to take a look at those.
Maybe that's not a good solution, but maybe there ought to be something, no?
It was the solution back when they did the design, but I think today there's other areas to warnings of intersections and to keep vehicles off the bike path. But if you can email me those areas, we'll take a look at it.